Hi everyone. Please let me know if everything is fine with the audio, with the video. We've just had a massive shower, and I have no idea what the next hour holds for us. Um, Actually, at some point, the idea to cancel the tour crossed my mind, but knowing that it's one of my very last tours, and this is a very special, a farewell tour to Heygo, not to virtual tourism, not to virtual guiding. I said, no way, I'm going to cancel the tour. And, I was ready to go on under the rain and thunder. Let me show you what's going on now. Hi, Risa. Hi, Jane, Catherine, everyone. Hello, hello. Hillary, James. Hi, Tammy. Lost everyone. Hello, hello. So, Kathy, you just wrapped up with Florence in Paris. Well, until we travel again, I'm sure with Florence is such an amazing guide. He's definitely going to excel, and definitely it's not going to affect his income and his career much. It's fantastic. Hello, hello. So this is just a little update on what it looks like here in Ashkelon. This is where I am. I didn't have any chance to leave Ashkelon today, and I was thinking that this tour is more about a experience, about the feelings rather than location. That's why. But I have prepared something very special for you that very few of the voyagers have seen, and that even very few of the locals know of. Sorry, it's just oh, it's been like too humid outside. You only came to see me anyway. Well, Claire, this is very sweet of you, but I couldn't but have prepared something, a little bit, at least a little bit special. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Yes, definitely. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I even added one more tour. What is going on? I'm sorry. Uh, no, it's like I even scheduled one more tour tonight, very late at night my time, where I'll be. Yes, of course. Such a coffee lover that I have buy me a coffee. Um, so there's gonna be a tour tonight, very late, almost midnight my time. It's called How to Stay Connected, and I'm going to do what actually very successfully Olga from Odessa Walks did last night. I'm going to take you to my new website. I'm going to take you to all the channels where you can find me. I'm going to explain everything. I'm going to explain how to tip, and answer all the questions possible. Because like today, we're also going to talk about things like that, but it's quite likely I might cry at some point, and if I cry, I might forget some stuff. Not now, Anna. Not now. Back up. And also, there's gonna be the third, not the last episode of the Romanovs tour. I mean, the Alexandra Palace, the last home to the last Romanovs. Yes, deep breaths, deep breaths. Yes. Hello, hello, everyone. Hello. So there's a lot to cover on tours, and I'm going to make sure those are very good experiences with as less tears as possible. Thank you so much for sharing the link, Claire. Thank you. I think something's already going on with the app because some of the functions haven't been working as smoothly as before. And I wish I had appreciated this app a little bit more, because, I used to think that it's a little bit unnecessary uh, Well, I used to think that app was a little bit redundant and that Heygo shouldn't have spent this much money on the app. But in a way, it was a good venue to connect also with the audience, or let's say with the sponsors. Well, anyway, shoulda, woulda, coulda. This really, it's not gonna help anyway. So why doing all this, right? Your 11 Alexandra Palace. Thank you, Sandy. And for your information, the fourth episode of Alexandra Palace tour, where I'm going to cover everything that I will not have covered today in the third part. I'm going to do on Zoom via Eventbrite, and I will share with you all the links. Basically, what you have to do if you want to book any of my tours from now on, you need to go check out my website. If anyone could share the link now, the address, that would be fantastic. It's very easy. It's www.annayourguide.com. That's it. That did cost me some money, but it's worth all the money. Yes, that's right. It's kind of becoming sort of my brand name. Thank you, Risa. Thank you so much. So hopefully it works. It's not perfect, and I have nothing about usability, and I have nothing about SEO, CRM, all these very very clever words. But what we have there is the links to my PayPal, the links to my buy me a coffee, also the link to my newsletter, direct way to contact me and arrange a private virtual tour, and in the future, just a private tour. Yes, I worked really hard to make it as easy to find as possible. Hope it's not too loud, and also that website has my schedule, my tours on different platforms. It's not all the platforms that I'm working with. Hi, dear. Hello, hello, Shoshana. Because I work with a few more platforms. Um, they are like B2B platforms, but that will also appear on my website very soon. So the most essential information is already there, and they include the tours on World Virtual Tours platform, T-based, Zoom-based platform. Also, new platform that I'll be also announcing on the how to stay connected tour tonight. The Discover Live. It's well, the new platform for me. They contacted me. Actually, the approximately the same time Heygo informed everyone about its closing down, and the Beyonder, Boutitude. So these are the platforms I also work with, and YouTube streams and Zoom talks, free and paid. All sorts of things, they are there on my website. I'm still struggling with the order, like from the earliest to the latest. It's a bit of a mess, but I'm working on it. For my Heygo guys should agree on hashtag or something. We find so many new. Oh, we have so many things to agree on. Very soon, those who subscribe to the newsletter from like Live Virtually Facebook group, you're going to get a newsletter at some point. If you haven't, I haven't checked with my colleagues yet, and you're gonna get the access to the calendar. I know that somebody has already shared the calendar, but there have been some significant issues with that link, and I really recommend to wait till the official newsletter comes out. And there you'll have the schedule of approximately 50 tour guides at least, and it's going to grow. We just need to bring some order. We need to bring some basic administration and guidelines on how this calendar is going to look and who's going to have access to it and things like that. So it's all on us now. right? So we are all our own business administrators, accountants, um, advertising agencies, and all sorts of things. It's crisis management team. Like I am, I've never had such a well. Okay, for a long time, I've never been that stressed out. Taking into account that my son is on holidays, there is no school. I don't have a nanny because nanny is also on holidays, but that nanny wouldn't have helped because had I hired her for the entire week, I would have paid even more than I have earned throughout this horrible week, with all sorts of shippings. So that's it's not that easy, what's going on. So we really, really ask a little bit of, patience from all of you, understanding, and well, just a little bit of common sense wouldn't hurt no one, right? That's what I've been sort of lacking recently as well. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Yes, um, yes. Thank you, Risa. So that's the link, annayourguide.com. That's as simple as that. Very, very simple website. I think it's not that difficult to find things there. It's only like it's for now. It's just like a landing page, but I have created it. Well, let's say that in perspective, it will become like my proper website. That's why it's taken this much time to work on it, to create it, to fill it with the content, and blah blah blah. Very, very boring stuff. Thank you, Sid. Thank you so much for just stopping by my tour. I know there are many fantastic tours happening, and I'm not going to sit. Hey guys, I like a t-shirt. I like the hair. Okay, whatever. So I'm gonna do the following. We're going to move. Hello, 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 hello. So we're going to do the following. I'm going to pack my stuff. I'm going to grab my umbrella. You wouldn't believe it, but I lost my favorite umbrella somewhere. I have no idea where, and I have a very boring black one. I hope I'm not going to need it. So I would like to leave this very friendly space and very dry compared to everything I have here. Okay. So we are in Ashkelon, the city where I'm living. I didn't have a chance to live anywhere else. I mean, to go anywhere else. So I'm staying here. But I do hope that what I'm going to show to you, and almost no one has seen it before, I hope it will, well, be at least some sort of special, and it will mark this farewell tour. Oh yes, Peter, it's a very, very emotional day. It's hard to imagine how difficult it has been for you and other guides. Yes, it's been such a roller coaster, Cindy. And I know that many of the voyagers, like yourself, oh, we actually have some sun there. This is a good sign. So we might have some sort of a sunset. This was also part of the plan, but you can never actually schedule and agree with the nature. So it's either going to work or not. That's the thing. Yeah, many of the voyagers are also, for many voyagers, it's just as big roller coaster as for guides. I know that Heygo has become a huge part of many of our lives. This is true. Bits of rain and bits of sun, yes. But but just 10 minutes before the tour, there was a huge shower, and I took a taxi to the place, and it was maybe to go back home. Well, I decided not to. Okay, so this is the Marina Mall on the Ashkelon Marina. We've been here a couple of times. Hi, Mark. We'll meet Heygo tomorrow. Yes, but don't forget that the tours are going to be running up until the last minute of Heygo. Karen, you didn't miss much. Just a little talk before we started. I also announced my website, Anna, your guide. just as simple as that. That's probably the biggest news. And I've also started running virtual tours. Well, I will be running. I'm now on the new platform, Discover Live, together with Ian and a few more guys, as far as I know. We've been contacted by the platform almost immediately after. Oh, wow, that's good. Wow, that's good. Thank you so much. Wow, we're going to have at least something beautiful. Which platform? Discover Live. Discover Live. I have already scheduled some tours for May on that platform because in April I have to prepare for my exams. That's why they're going to be minimum tours on in April. I have a massive exam on Christianity this Sunday, and I didn't have a minute to prepare for it. So I'm in trouble. I'm very well aware of it. Okay, I'm going to cross where I shouldn't be, so don't make my mistakes. But there are not too many cars. This is a semi-business day here in Israel. Very few cars because we're still celebrating Passover. So Chag Pesach Sameach to whom it may concern. Happy Easter, Ramadan Kareem. It's fantastic that this year all these 3 holidays coincide. They overlap, and this has been quite a special thing. So where we are now, we are in the marina area. It's not the center of Ashkelon, but this is a very crowded area because of the location, because of the beach. And Ashkelon, and yes, I might sound a bit biased, but Ashkelon has some of the best beaches in Israel. Of course, Tel Aviv has some great beaches. This is true. But apart from crowded Tel Aviv, there are places, and it's one of the gems of the southern district of Israel. And I have seen already quite a lot of Israel, I should tell you, because as you might know, I am starting to be a tour guide in Israel, and I have study tours at least once a week, but actually sometimes twice a week. Oh, somebody's coming to Ashkelon. Who's coming to Ashkelon? Susan, you're coming to Ashkelon. Fantastic. I'll be more than happy to show you around. Just as friends. Officially, I'm not guiding yet. I'm trying to be very, very law abiding. And by the way, just for your information, for all the tippings I should declare. Today I had a very long talk with my accountant, and we're looking into ways how to provide receipts and everything, like, how to declare it so that I wouldn't spend I would say a week sending receipts to every tipping that I get on PayPal, on Buy Me a Coffee. That's because for your information, like, I had to start my business in Israel. Actually, the next week I made Aliyah here, and I opened my business and like pay my. Well, I have a lot of benefits as the new immigrant, as Ola Hadasha, but still there are things to do. There are operations to take care of. So it's very, very slow. But it looks like that some of you might actually receive receipts from me. We'll see how it goes. Okay, just please give me time. Okay, so where are we? In the middle of nowhere. I'm very, very sorry that on my farewell tour, I'm taking you to this dump. And it does look like a dump. And it is a dump. Be ready to see all sorts of things like like a shoe. Okay. Okay, this sounds really ominous. There's a lot of stuff here, but exactly, well, I'm here to show you that exactly thanks to natural tools, you can find yourself in very unexpected places where you probably would never ever visited unless you're on a virtual tour. Let me check with the connection. Yes, Casey, there was no other way because I started giving live tours even before I started studying. Once I moved to Israel, the I got down to virtual tourism. Like I just carried on with my virtual tours almost straight away. So yes, yeah, that was a little bit. Oh, ants. That was a little bit. Um, okay, well, there was no other way because I wouldn't have been able to get the payment. Okay, so this is really really weird, but seems like we are going there. I hope I'm not going to fall down anywhere. I actually don't know, but I do hope so. So over there, oh, I don't know really. It looks like it's not really safe. Let me see. No, I'm not going there. So there is a tomb, a Roman tomb. I have taken you here just once. Very few people were on that tour. Well, definitely less than 100. But that is what archaeologists discovered some 50 years ago in Ashkelon, the underground Roman tomb. Are you talking us down a rabbit hole? Yeah, I'm taking it down the rabbit hole, but I'm a little bit scared. I really don't know if I can walk this thing over here, and you know, I haven't done my insurance yet, kind of thing. So I'm a little bit scared. So probably won't be going there. But have a look. This thing had some frescoes inside and mosaics inside. It's a very rich tomb. Can you imagine? So the Romans managed to take this whole thing underground. And look, it's not just this thing over here, but it's also the entrance. It was a very, very expensive tomb for a very, very rich man. You would have never known about it. And trust me, well, every local that I've ever asked about this tomb, they would say, "What are you talking about? What tomb? Roman tomb? Where? On this dam?" Yes, just like that. Just like that. And this is exactly why we desperately need to go on with virtual tours. This is why we need this. That's not all. Hold on a second. Also, from what I learned from my friends now in Ashkelon, you see, there is nothing going on there. Absolutely nothing. I have taken voyages there only once, like only once. So recently in that area, the builders found ruins of a possibly Byzantine period building. Nobody knows about it so far. And probably so they need to close things down. They need to stop the construction. They've only been just digging things out. I'm sorry, there's just a dump. There's really nothing there. But you see, and hopefully when they start digging it, when they will discover it, when they discover it, how else can you go and see that? And I remember so many times when guides from all over took us to real gems that are never and will never be included on big tours. Never. And this is common sense, of course. Why would you need to see the Roman tomb that is also closed for well, nobody can see it. There is nothing to see there, right? So who would take you there? Nobody would. That's the thing. If they don't dig, sure you will. Yes, sort of. Okay, but my point was just to take you to this dump to show you this gem. And it's not the only gem we have in Ashkelon. And I haven't even shown you some of them. I didn't have a chance to, but I want to take you on a walk along the sea to one more historical site, if you don't mind. And I wanted, as we do that, I wanted to share some moments, and also to, for those who haven't been following me for like since the beginning, the well, the December 2020. I really want to share some stories with you, and this will hopefully also make things clear what I'm doing in Israel and what I may be doing uh, sometime later. Okay, I'm crossing the street here. So you see, okay, that's what I'm going to do over there. You see, this is the tomb. Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows over there. Right now, there's nothing here. There's nothing you can find inside, and the entrance is closed. But that's what we have. They don't know what to do with the tomb. Not so many Roman tombs have been discovered in this condition. For a while, this tomb was just, well, without those without the fence, so anyone could actually come and see. Well, but not that many people actually did that, and maybe that's for the better that very few people know about it. How do you know about them? Well, that's I when I came to Israel, and I came to Israel in March 2022. After less than a month after the war started, the Russia started war again in Ukraine. So now I'm trying to cross here. Okay, very good. We're going to the sea, and well, I had much time. On the one hand, I had much time. I wasn't working. Well, I couldn't. But on the other hand, I I had to deal with the documents and everything, and it was draining. I really hate all this document paper stuff. It's bureaucracy. It's something that really uh, kills me. And I found refuge in reading about Ashkelon because I knew nothing about it. I asked my husband a few days before we realized that we would be leaving for Israel. I asked, "Where are we going?" "To Ashkelon." And I asked him, "Is there a sea?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh, okay, that's good. We go." I knew nothing. And when I came to Israel, when I came to Ashkelon, and I started like, looking the city up, it turned out that Ashkelon has the most ancient arched gateways ever discovered by archaeologists in the world. It's in Ashkelon. Ashkelon has the ruins of a basilica built to commission of Herod. That Ashkelon has some of the most ornate Roman sarcophagi discovered by archaeologists to the date. This is Ashkelon. Ashkelon is the city where Cleopatra had to run to while she was trying to get away from her brother. Ashkelon is the city where the archaeologists found the silver cup. That cup that is directly connected with the idol that the Israelites were fighting against. It's all here. Ashkelon is the city mentioned in the Old Testament. I mean, it's something that absolutely blew my mind, and I very quickly fell in love with it. Very quickly. Okay, we are by the sea. We're here. It's yes, and I do believe. Well, I have lived long enough to find out that everything happens for a reason. I'm still struggling to understand why the war in Ukraine started, but and why I had to leave my favorite city, and my heart bleeds every day. I'm still trying to figure it out, but it is what it is, and we have to live with this. And I'm still struggling to understand why Heygo only gave us 11 days to prepare for the new, for the big change. Let's put it this way, okay? For the big change in our work, for a big change, and for a okay, for a, I would say, a huge disruption in the flow of income to some of the guys on the platform, like I am, because Heygo was the main source of my income. Not the only one, and I've never kept eggs in one basket, if there is such an expression. But uh, and well, I try to work with many platforms, so now you can find me on Discover Live. This this is the new thing. You can find me on Beyonder, on Wowtitude, on World Virtual Tours, and all the links you can find on my website. And I think Risa has shared already squid enough times how to find my website. It's www.annayourguide.com. Thank you. Thank you, Risa, for sharing. Well, today we're not going to see those art gates, but if you are willing to join me on that tour, I'm going to run this tour next Saturday on the 15th of April. I'll be taking you to those ancient gateways, next to which most probably Samson, that famous Samson that had something to do with Delilah, right? He must have probably walked through those gates. He must have probably, well, he must have, yes, he must have been there. And I'm also going to show you Ashdod in a few weeks from now. Both these tours are on World Virtual Tours. But now we are in a new area, the marina, and this is where everybody comes on Shabbat. I mean, non-religious, of course, non-observant Jews. Well, this is the only area in Ashkelon that works on Shabbat, because you're not supposed to work on Shabbat. You're not supposed to do anything with money on Shabbat. You're not supposed to use your telephones on Shabbat, and also on several days of Pesach. Well, today is okay. It's called Kol Hameod. It's a sort of a semi festive day. Businesses are open, official institutions are closed, of course. Kids don't go to school, and this has been a big problem for me, because I have to deal with all of this with my son. So I should say thank you, Grisha, for being able to stay on your own with YouTube. The number of hours that my son spent, not well, okay, the screen time on YouTube that my son has had, over the past week, is way too much. He has never been that happy. He has never had this much ice cream. He has never had this much French fries. He has never been that often to McDonald's. So I should really thank Grisha for sure for all of this. So that's the area where the life goes on, even on Shabbat, where it's loud. And during summertime, Ashkelon becomes, well, it gets even more populated than general, because now the population, due to the wave of immigration after the war from Russia and Ukraine, now the population is about 150,000 people, and on summer it becomes even bigger. Also, for summertime, rich Israelis dock their yachts here. They come here with the yachts. They dock their boats here and, well, enjoy their lives. Beautiful. And this is exactly where I had my very first tour after I came to Israel. And I didn't inform anyone. Well, very few voyagers knew about my whereabouts, but it was a big surprise tour. A few days before that, last year, I did a tour on the frozen waters of the Gulf of Finland. We even walked a little bit Gulf of the ice on the Gulf. Michelle, thank you so much for the tipping. So yes, before I forget again, speaking of the tipping, up until tomorrow afternoon, you feel free to support guides on Heygo, but please keep it in mind that 40% still goes to Heygo. There are most of the guides have Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal, and so whichever way possible, you can have all the links to the way to support me on my website now. Luckily, I've been able to set things up. What is my Buy Me a Coffee? Please, somebody share the link because I cannot. We cannot share this link on the chat. We cannot share anything on the chat but the images. Thank you so much. Okay, let me keep up with the chat a little bit because I definitely missed some of them. Oh, thank you, Luz. Thank you, Lorna. Still, you remember that? Oh my goodness. Thank you, dear. Yes, yes, and two in the freezing snow. Whoa, that's a whole different chapter. In St. Petersburg, we did all sorts of tours with you, under in the blizzard, under the pouring rain. What else? Oh, we did tour in the open waters of the Gulf of Finland in summer as well. Do you remember the 2-hour tour? I think that was my record, more than 2 hours, so more than 120 minutes. We were in a small boat in the Gulf of Finland, cruising between the ports of Kronstadt. Nobody has ever done anything like that before, and I don't know if anybody has done it after. That captain, he's still texting me, asking if I'm back. And well, whenever I am in Kronstadt, he's still waiting for me. Can you imagine that? So that was something very special. And do you remember the white night tour on the boat, the river cruise of the white nights? Oh, I wish at that point Heygo kept the recordings of the tours, but it didn't. And this is so 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 sad. Oh, sorry, my gimbal is also getting very very sad. I, I actually like this lamppost, but my gimbal doesn't. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll figure out what to do. Okay, give me a second. Okay, not like that. Okay, well, maybe like that. I'm so sorry. I must have given some of you headache, just like dizziness. Okay, that's just what I like. I like the design. 1, 2, 3. And I also remember walking with you at like 3 in the morning, showing you the bridges that were drawn up in St. Petersburg every night to let the big ships sail through the Neva River. I remember all that, and I miss that so much. Those were those were the moments that I know for sure I would have done it again. I would have come. I would have. I would have been absolutely happy to come back home at 6 a.m. That's exactly what happened in the summer of 2021. Exactly what happened. Can you tell us where we can sponsor you in the future, Shoshana? You can sponsor me in future as a sponsor on Buy Me a Coffee. All the sponsors who are on the mailing list, and I'm still struggling to find out. There are a few names that, for some reason, haven't been able to open the newsletter. I'm still struggling to find those names. Uh, well, all the sponsors received a newsletter from me, I think last night, So there is an option to become, or just to carry on being my sponsor on Buy Me a Coffee. So on Buy Me a Coffee, there is an option membership. Tonight, I have two more tours scheduled for tonight. So one is Alexandra Palace, the last but one episode, and the tour called How to Stay Connected or something like that, where I will take you on the journey of how you can stay connected with me, of how you can become a sponsor or carry on being a sponsor, and how you can donate, and where you can find a tour, where you can contact me on any matter. So I'm going to do that tonight, and that tour is going to be recorded and it's going to be available in the recording. Marisa, thank you so much. You're just being my assistant today. Thank you, thank you. It's really really helpful. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Running across the road, pushing people out of the way, shopping with with Barbara as looking at golden bums. Remember the man with the golden bum? Of course I remember. This Mark and Shayla, they turned it into a meme. Of course, the golden bum thing in Peterhof. And by the way, I'm going to carry on with tours about St. Petersburg, uh, Peterhof Palace, Summer Palace, Yusupov Palace, the Synagogue of St. Petersburg, inside, indoors, and many more. I'm definitely not saying goodbye to St. Petersburg. I'll always be a guide to St. Petersburg. It's just the only thing is how I can make sure I can combine it with Israel. I mean, with my studies, I'm going to have to find out. But only thanks to this and thanks to you, thanks to those interested in St. Petersburg, well, like every time I run a tour about St. Petersburg, it feels like I am there. So I know these tours are being very much about just me wanted to visit St. Petersburg again, but thank you so much for tagging along. you know. Well, why am I here? Uh, because of this thing. Aster is the name of the ship with several hundred people from Romania that were trying. Well, they say that about 700 people on board of that ship that were desperately trying to find refuge. Those were Jews from Romania that were trying to escape from Hitler after Hitler won the elections in 1930s. This is just a sort of a memorial plaque. It's just a memorial to that ship, and that ship Aster tried to dock at the port of Jaffa. Old Jaffa. We visited it a bunch of times, and on the new platform called Discover Live, I have scheduled 2 tours of Old Jaffa for May. So you're more than welcome to join. All the links you can find, all the tours you can find on my website. Risa, you don't have to to, to, to do it again. Maybe a bit later. Risa, I'm so sorry. And but the thing is that the 1930s, this is the period of the British Mandate. Well, that's that's okay. Even though there is no actually sun visible, there's no rain. There is no rain. That's all I need. Oh, thank you so much, weather. Thank you so much, the creator, for this dry hour. And this is the beach. It's the sort of the wild beach. The good beaches are there, and we're going to see it. It's beautiful. And don't think that I'm just taking you for a walk on the beach. I'm going to take you to a special place, a historic place. So no worries, okay? We're going there, and I hope you really enjoy the view. What was I talking about? Okay, I'm a bit lightheaded. That's because of lack of sleep, I believe. And can you see the colors changing like every minute? My goodness. Thank you for sharing the links. Name of my website, annayourguide.com. Well, I'm sure you lovely Voyagers are going to catch up on the bunch of tours of all of us. So okay, yes, I remember now where we were, and the British tried to control the number of Jews coming to mandatory Palestine. Well, also the Arab population wanted to restrict the number. They wanted to actually put a ban on it, but that didn't work. So there were many clashes, and obviously nobody was happy to see more Jews um, on the lands of mandatory Palestine. This was an issue, and they were not allowed. So the Astor ship was not allowed to dock, and they had to spend several weeks on board of the ship. And well, yeah, some people contracted some illness. Some people died on the ship. They had to cruise around the Mediterranean. They were on the shore of Greece, somewhere else, and finally they were allowed. They were able to disembark on the shore of Ashkelon, where we were. And when I think about that story of people trying to save their lives, trying to trying to start things all over, and now after, well, not a similar thing, but well, okay, something slightly similar has happened to me, even though it's not my country that is at the moment probably being bombed by an aggressor state, right? It's my country that is killing people in Ukraine, right? And so I'm not here to be sorry for, but I am the one to be sorry, and I am sorry. But I can relate even more to to the events of those days. And right now, like reading on the memoirs of the immigrants, and well, up until recently, I actually had some time to read books, not anymore. And I one of the two books that I took with me to Israel was the book on history of the Russian immigration in exile, aristocracy in exile. It's called Former People by Douglas Smith. And I also read just the memoirs of those who came to Palestine from the Russian Empire in 1919. Well, it resonates so much. Like it was never like this before. Yes, I'm unfortunately become familiar with all these things, and but I would like to say thanks to, well, those people didn't have Heygo. Those people didn't have internet. Those people were coming into the unknown. My situation is way different, and I'm so grateful to Heygo and Heygoers. Okay, okay, I can carry on. So, but I just want to say this, with my face in the camera, that I'm so grateful to Heygo and Heygoers for not giving up on me when the war started. For I want to say thanks to Stefan, who started uh, fake tours to get the tips for me, because I couldn't because of the sanctions. So Russian banks were blocked. I would like to thank everyone who did tip me, even though, well, Russia really not welcomed and loved and supported. And I wanted to thank Heygo and Heygoers uh, for their trust, because I started virtual tours like really several weeks after I moved here. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for tipping me for very unprofessional tours. And so this is what I'll be forever grateful to Heygo. And they've been so supportive with Tanya Neyman and Anna Belousova. They're still in Moscow, and they have no really other options. Well, Tanya has, but she's staying for family reasons. Anya has no other options, and she has to provide for the family. And she loves tourism so much, and she's made to be a tour guide. She's made for guiding. It's Thank you so much, Heygo and Heygoers, for supporting these two ladies. I thought it would be easier, but it's not. And even though it's not like my last tour, it's not even my last tour on the. Please don't share this horrible postcards with anyone, okay? Okay, I want to show you something beautiful. Not that. Thank you, everyone. So I thought it would be easier because I was thinking, okay, well, what am I losing? It's like, okay, a farewell tour to show some nice places, to talk, to catch up, to update on ways to connect. So it's not like the world is not going to end tomorrow. Well, hopefully, but this is a lot more difficult. It turned out to be very difficult. I'm just very sorry for all this sobbing. Look at this color. Wow, it's so purple. Just like the colors of my website. I don't know. Look at these colors. Look at these flowers over here. Actually, I don't know the names. I'm supposed to know the names of all the flowers, but I don't know. If anyone can help me with that, I have Google. I have Google who can do this, but big storm heading your way. You're getting it now. Okay, so but it looks like we had a storm, and now the sky looks quite serene. It looks really nice here. Maybe this is just for the hour of my tour, and we really have to run if you want to make it to the final destination on time. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a big loss. Give yourself time to process. Well, yes, because Heygo hasn't given us time to process. Maybe that's for the better. Always try to find something positive, and uh, maybe this is for the better because we just had to get ourselves together, and we didn't have a minute to waste, on being mad at Heygo for giving us less than 2 weeks time to prepare, to restructure our business flows and everything. But it is what it is. And I know that the team, is very sorry for how things came out. And hopefully all of us will learn that nothing is really free, and we would appreciate each other more. And well, I just well, I'm sure that all of us will find out ways to adjust to the new environment. We definitely will. And we have found some ways already. And we've been very helpful. I mean, guides have been very helpful. So many voyagers themselves have come up with some really great ideas. So it's just great that we have this community, and it's not going anywhere. Definitely not. Okay, I don't want to film the family. Sorry. Uh, Thank you, Risa. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Tari, okay. Oh my goodness. So Tari is writing, I broke my back the day before the pandemic was declared and went to lockdown in Canada. And you spent the better half of next year struggling to walk and dealing with this isolation. Wow. And you discovered Heygo. So uh, you have been to Israel, and one of my best friends lives in Tel Aviv. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Definitely, whenever any one of you is in Israel, or whenever I am somewhere outside Israel, I think that probably next time I'll be somewhere outside Israel is after I finish my studies, because my studies just don't give me a minute of free time. Well, definitely I would love to catch up, and it's not just for tourism, no, but just because we have been able to build such a great community. Thank you for it. I mean it. Thank you. So what we need to do now, uh okay, we see some historic building over there. This is the building we visited about a year ago, when we did a tour on the promenade of Ashkelon. This is the 13th century tomb, Sheikh tomb of the time of Mamelukes. Mamelukes are the Muslim warriors that came from Egypt. They pushed out the Crusaders. And what I didn't know last year, but I know now, that the Mamelukes would build their special tombs, and they turned the tombs into the pilgrimage sites next to the places that meant something for the peoples before them, for the Crusaders. And of course, the Mamluks, well, just like the, well, just like many other, peoples and warriors and, fighters, they would, they were infamous for their scorched earth policy, and always next to their pilgrimage sites, one can find something from a much more uh, ancient location. Oh, there's a wedding there. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't want to film people, but okay, you can film me. And there is a wedding. There is a chuppah. Yay! Fantastic. So we can share somebody's wedding. Fantastic, right? So I'm not going to invade their privacy. Can you hear the music? You can. So it's live. Somebody's singing. Oh yeah, it's chuppah by a Muslim ruling. Yes, yes, because that's how it works here. It doesn't have any religious value, because after the Mamluks came the Ottomans, and those peoples were enemies. So really, this is no big deal anymore. And later on, I found out that there definitely are ruins from a much earlier period, and some of you might remember, in a very bad condition, discovered and left alone mosaic of a Byzantine church, and it's now been um, turned into a nice area. And this is a sort of a museum under the open sky, in the open air museum. And we visited it just after it was open for my birthday. I did a birthday tour there, so it was only once, and I want to take you there now. It's a lovely area to be. It has lights, and now I know way more than I knew a year ago about more ruins found in the area. And again, only locals, and like very few locals, know about this place. But now people 1,000 miles away from Ashkelon, a city little known in general, now you know that there is a corner in the south of Israel where you can find a huge, very important Roman tomb, or a Byzantine church mosaic, or a tomb of a Muslim sheikh, of a Mameluke sheikh. I mean, of course, like, we have massive places. Okay, Jerusalem has a lot more than that. Okay, squillion more locations and historic sites, and I've been there already. I don't know, 15 times over the last month. Like, yeah, over the past month. and I have exam in Jerusalem, only midway exam in May. So there's a lot to cover, and I'll be taking it to Jerusalem just to the extent, um, so not to really limit Itamar, our Jerusalem guide, who is absolutely fantastic. He hasn't done many tours in Jerusalem because he works full time and he's also full time father. It sounds horrible, full time father. Okay, so he had to uh, spend with his son most of the time. So definitely, virtual tours is not his main source of income, luckily. And I'll be taking you to Jerusalem more, and I'll be taking you to more areas. But first, I need to deal with my studies, with my midway exams. And I would like to switch the camera now to take you to that special area. And let me look through the chat because I really haven't been able to see much with the teary eyes. No, it was not a Muslim wedding. No, there is a chuppah there. No, this place doesn't have any religious importance for Muslims now. Muslims are not even taking care of it, so that's why it's not considered disrespect. It's just historical ruins. That's it. So please keep that in mind, okay? It wouldn't have been possible other way, had it been otherwise. And of course, now it's Ramadan, so no weddings, nothing from sunrise to sunset. So Muslims are fasting. Okay. Apart from that, yes, exactly. Well, I see how you're interested in that topic. So let's get back to me. Let's get back to my antique stuff. Where can we find you after Heygo? On my website, where you have all the tours scheduled on various platforms. But I also work with several more platforms. I will show you tonight on the tour that is called How to Stay Connected. I will take you on a journey to my website. I will show you the platforms that haven't been included to my schedule because I work there B2B. But if you are a member of a community or you work for the company that is interested in some sort of group incentives, so you're more than welcome to join and to book tours with me and also a bunch of other Heygo guides that have been on this platform. And this is where I've been meaning to take you to. Oh, good for me. I'm still not overrunning. That was quite a jog, I should tell you. So, first thing first, the mosaic, then some other stones and stuff. So, some of you might remember this mosaic open to a half, and then there was rubble everywhere, and the soil and whatnot, and just rubbish. But now it's here, and that used to be one of 5 Byzantine church located in Ashkelon. And some of these churches were actually included on the Madama map, a very important map of early Christian sites. I mentioned it on probably every of my tour. So to be on the 6th century mosaic map, a small city of Ashkelon, it was a big deal. And I am so proud to be living in this city with so much history. I mean, I'm grateful to Israel for providing us with citizenship. I'm also grateful to my husband for it because it's only thanks to my husband who's Jewish. There is this joke in among Alims, and by the way, this joke was made by Jews, so hopefully you're not going to be mad at me. But that they say that Jews are very nice means of transport, and this is so right, unfortunately, but it is sort of so. Hi, Kitty. Oh, kitties. Hello there. Oh wow. Also, there is a fox here, very special kind of fox. I see it quite often in this location. Probably we even had it once on our tour. Hi, kitties. Whenever I think of kitties, I think of Leonie Kent, our amazing Heygo guide, and the cat keeper, and the cat protector. So yeah. Yes, and I also think about you, Barbara, of course. The fur babies. Her cats are so much fun indeed because they know that the better the tour, the more cat food they get, right? So make sure you carry on supplying, not Leonie, but just Leonie's cats with food. Like on Buy Me a Coffee, you can actually say whatever you want. So I just wish there was something like Buy Me a Cat food. Oh, Leon Amsterdam, yes, and the doggy, like the small dog. I forgot the name. I'm not so good with names. Yes, for sure. This is the inscription from the church, from the Byzantine church. It's like 500 something years. The year 500 something. Sorry. Uh, these things. So in Ashkelon, they also found Roman aqueducts. The systems, right? The water supply systems. So these are the siphons of the Roman aqueducts. And Romans built a huge theater here. Uh, they built, so we have a theater, we have Roman buffs. Romans were in charge of all the trade because there was a big port thanks to the location. Can you imagine that? Also, here the Romans made olive oil, and this is one of the details of the press. And I'm going to show you the big oil press. It's all here. I mean, of course, like living in Jerusalem and having all that, it's like, oh, Ashkelon. So what do they have there? Nothing, right? But I'm not in that position. And well, I'm happy that I'm able to discover these gems for you because Israel is not just that. So that's the mosaic, but I want to take you to this huge ruins of the olive press. Well, the wood is new. Hi, kitties. So you really have a get together here, a cat together, kitty get together, a cat together, or whatever. Why are you not laughing? I've just made a joke. No, they're not. Thank you so much for being so understanding towards Russians. Unfortunately, many Russians do support the war, but many of those Russians have been brainwashed systematically for 8 years, but actually even longer than that. Okay, thank you. At least you're laughing. Uh, so that's uh, the the parts of the oil press you see over here. It's huge. And we also know that Romans did produce garum here. They're famous. Well, this is their version of a soy sauce. It's a fish sauce, not soy, but fish sauce. But it was just widely consumed, like the soy sauce consumed in Asia, and they made it here. The archaeologists found several locations, at least from what I've gathered from numerous resources. And it's not just, I look for Wikipedia. Oh, trust me, it's not like that. You can't find this information on Wikipedia. And so the amount of garum produced in Ashkelon testifies to the number of Romans living, to the number of to the importance of the trade that had been going on here. And they found so many stamps from the port, like for the trade, for all these trade documents, the invoices back then. I'm absolutely amazed. Absolutely, absolutely in love with what's happening. And I do believe that Ashkelon has been underestimated and overshadowed. And I think it's a bit of my mission to make Ashkelon a little bit more popular, a little bit more known. And I'm happy that now, 1,000 miles away, more people know that actually this place exists. And once again, I'm going to share this absolutely fantastic thing, and it's going to be the punchline of the tour. that you might have Ashkelon in your kitchen, because the shallot onions used to be called alum and it was named by the Greeks, who thought, well, who first came across the shallot onions when they docked near Ashkelon, because Alexander the Great himself visited Ashkelon. You see how big Ashkelon is. Mm, boom. You see? Okay. Well, I shared this many times, but at least for a couple of you, it's something new and it can work. Oh, it has. Good. Okay. So I'm already overrunning and I don't want to be, because there are so many great farewell tours and, well, other tours happening at the moment. So I would like to stop right now. Oh no, it's happening again. What is going on? Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh no. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining this last, but actually not the least, and not really the last tour tonight. In a couple of hours from now, I don't remember the exact time, but I have it somewhere on my schedule, the third episode of my tour of the Alexander Palace. I will inform you where to find my fourth episode, but it's already on my website. I have my website. I have my website, finally. Thank you, Heygo, for pushing me to do this. You see, you have to, well, you have to see this glass half full. And also today, if you have time, if you are available, there will be a tour. Like, well, I will take you on a journey of how to stay connected with me, how to tip and whatever. So it's also today. And please make sure you join the tour till the afternoon tomorrow, because there are great tours. Like Stefan has his last tour exactly at the last hour, I think, of Heygo's operation. And please be supportive to the guides that you watch, right? Just let's keep in mind that well, we have to support the guides, right? It's not about the money. Well, money is important, and it's true. Like in the end of the day, we have to pay the bills. But even if it's not about the money and you cannot tip, there are ways to support, to pay back, to spread the word. This is what matters. And we do hope, we believe that we'll be able to stay available for everyone. I am intending to run free tours, tip based. There will be paid tours for a number of reasons, and I will also share it tonight on this how to stay connected tours, my reason of why I want to schedule and why I want to start the prepaid tours. But we're hoping that we'll be able to stay available for everyone. That's the thing. But it has to be like a two-way communication. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all these tippings and donations and whatnot. Thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for emailing me, texting me, phoning me, finding me on WhatsApp and finding me on Skype, finding me everywhere, even on the landline. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out to help. You have no idea what it means to, well, you know how much it means to us. And like for me personally, I don't have many friends here. I don't have real family here. So you have become my family. And I mean it. Later on, later on. See you soon, everyone. Thank you so much. So no more crying. I managed to do this. No more tears. Okay. So this will be it. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. I hope it's been a little bit educational, at least a little bit. And sorry I haven't been able to take you closer to the tomb, but well, I figured out that I might need my legs again. Bye bye. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you. Nothing else. I know where my shallots are from. Well, now you know where your shallots are from. Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna have a nice quiet walk before my Alexander Palace tour. Okay, I'll just look through the questions and, well, the chat in case I miss some of the questions and I'm able to answer them. But please make sure you check out as many tours as possible tonight and tomorrow afternoon. Well, till tomorrow afternoon. I'll be also trying to join some. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. See you. See you, everyone. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Sandy, Luz, Michelle, Claire, Cindy, Cynthia. You are my family. Oh my goodness. This is so, so important. You have no idea. Ruth, Shoshana, Dolly, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Edith, hi, dear. So sorry. I haven't seen you join. I hope you're still here, but it doesn't. Well, anyway, thank you, dear. A pivot moment, Santi. It did. Okay. Bye bye, everyone. You know where to find me. Bye bye.